On March 24, 2015, 18-year-old Brittney Gargol was strangled to death with a belt after a night of pub crawling and partying in Saskatoon, Canada. She was discovered clinging to life on the outskirts of the city near a landfill, but later died at the hospital. 18-year-old Cheyenne Rose Antoine became the main suspect after police discovered a selfie between her and Brittney. This photo would later become a significant piece of evidence in the case when the belt Cheyenne was wearing was confirmed to be the murder weapon. Cheyenne was Brittney's best friend but had a troubled past that included sexual abuse from a foster parent and struggles with substance abuse following her mother's death. Cheyenne was brought in for questioning and told police that Brittney left with an unknown man after visiting several pubs together. However, security footage from the location Cheyenne mentioned revealed inconsistencies in her story. She was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Cheyenne eventually confessed to murdering Brittney during a heated argument but claimed she had no memory of the actual act due to intoxication. She was sentenced on January 15, 2018 to just 7 years in prison after the judge took pity on her because of her past troubles. On May 11, 2022, Anna Mo Wilson, a professional cyclist, was found dead from gunshot wounds in an Austin, Texas home following a 911 call. Anna was in Texas to compete in a race and had been spending time with a fellow cyclist, Collman Strickland, with whom she was romantically involved. The day following her murder, the police questioned Kaitlin Armstrong because her vehicle was spotted near the scene of the crime. At the time, Kaitlin was in a complicated relationship with Collman. She was brought in for questioning but didn't give the cops much information about her whereabouts and was released due to a discrepancy in her date of birth on a separate misdemeanor warrant. Kaitlin then fled to Texas and flew to New York on May 14, 2022. As the investigation intensified, Kaitlin's connections to the case became apparent. While speaking with the police, Collman revealed a tumultuous love triangle. He and Kaitlin had been living together and there was tension because she suspected Collman had been cheating on her with Anna. On May 17, 2022, an arrest warrant was issued for Kaitlin Armstrong, charging her with first-degree murder. When Kaitlin realized the cops were after her, she took drastic steps to evade being captured. She used fraudulent documents and got plastic surgery to change her appearance to avoid detection. Her journey took her to Costa Rica, where she was finally apprehended on June 30, 2022, after 43 days on the run and a massive manhunt. Kaitlin appeared in court on July 20, 2022, and pleaded not guilty. Her defense strategy was focused on discrediting the police procedures, claiming violations of her legal rights, and challenging the validity of the evidence against her. The defense also raised questions about the integrity of the arrest warrant, suggesting discrepancies and inaccuracies in the details provided by the police. The trial date was delayed until October 30, 2023, when Kaitlin would be facing a possible life sentence. However, with the pressure of the impending trial mounting, Kaitlin made a desperate but unsuccessful attempt to escape custody on October 11, 2023, resulting in an additional felony charge against her. The prosecution depicted Kaitlin as a jealous partner who tracked Anna using a geolocation app and Collins' text messages. After several weeks of trial and lots of circumstantial evidence being presented to the jury, Kaitlin Armstrong was found guilty on November 16, 2023. She was sentenced to 90 years in prison and will be eligible for parole after 30 years. On January 25, 2005, 10-year-old Katie Collman left her Crothersville, Indiana home to buy some toilet paper from a dollar store that was a couple of blocks away. She would never return home. Her parents filed a missing persons report and an Amber Alert was issued. A team of volunteers searched for Katie but came up short for several days. On the fifth day, Katie's lifeless body was discovered in a creek roughly 15 miles from her home. She had been sexually assaulted and forcibly drowned. Investigators found a discarded Rogers brand cigarette butt near the body which matched the DNA found on Katie's body. Only 4 stores within a 40-mile radius sold that brand of cigarette, which allowed police to set up a sting operation. Eventually, the DNA matched a man named Anthony Ray Stockelman, and he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder while attempting to purchase a pack of smokes. Anthony pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. While in prison, Anthony had a run-in with a 22-year-old man named Jared Harris, who happened to be Katie's cousin. Jared snuck into Anthony's cell, held him down, and tattooed Katie's revenge on his forehead. Jared was supposed to be released 6 months later, but was given 7 additional years for the tattoo. On January 13, 2021, in the affluent Marina District of San Francisco, 49-year-old Stephen O'Loughlin killed his 9-year-old son Pierce and then himself in a tragic murder-suicide. When Stephen had met his ex-wife Leslie Hugh, he was excited at the prospect of having children. However, once Leslie was pregnant, she said that Stephen started getting heavily into self-help books and alternative medicine and began ignoring her. After Pierce was born, Stephen's life had taken a dark turn following his new obsession with government mind control and conspiracy theories. That, along with his opposition to vaccinations because of how harmful he believed they were to Pierce's health, created a rift between him and Leslie, and the couple decided to get divorced. As the custody battle intensified, Stephen's mental health deteriorated. Leslie struggled to get full custody as the influence of the conspiracy theories and misinformation took their final hold of her ex-husband. Stephen spiraled into a deep paranoia, obsessively videotaping Pierce's breathing before finally killing his son and then himself. In the wake of the tragedy, Leslie began to champion mental health reforms in the legal system, hoping to prevent such losses from befalling other families. On December 31, 2011, 18-year-old widow Sarah McKinley shot and killed one of two intruders who broke into her Blanchard, Oklahoma home while the other one fled in fear. Sarah, who had recently lost her 58-year-old husband Kenneth to lung cancer, was left to care for their 3-month-old son and an array of cancer medications Kenneth left behind. The intruders, 24-year-old Justin Martin and 29-year-old Dustin Stewart, broke into the home because of Justin's addiction to prescription drugs. Aware of Kenneth's death and the pain medication inside, the pair targeted Sarah's home, suspecting it contained more narcotics. Justin had previously approached Sarah's house on several occasions pretending to be a neighbor, but his strange behavior and the timing of his visits raised Sarah's suspicions. On the fateful day, Justin and Dustin attempted to force their way into Sarah's home, so she made a call to 911. The conversation lasted 21 minutes, during which time Sarah barricaded her door and armed herself with a 12-gauge shotgun for protection. She asked the operator if she was allowed to shoot the intruders, and the operator told her she could do whatever she needed to do to protect her and her son. When Justin finally broke in wielding a 12-inch hunting knife, Sarah was forced to make a split-second decision to protect herself and her young son. She shot Justin, who was found dead at the scene, while Dustin fled in fear. Dustin turned himself in hours later and faced first-degree murder charges. Under Oklahoma law, participants in a felony crime resulting in death can be charged with murder, regardless of who committed the killing. Sarah's actions were ruled as self-defense because of Oklahoma's Make My Day law, which justifies the use of deadly force against intruders in one's home. In 2014, Dustin Stewart pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit burglary after a plea deal was reached. He was sentenced to the maximum of 10 years in prison. However, the sentence was suspended because he wasn't deemed a threat to society due to having had no prior record.